Hey guys, so my wife sent me this get to know me questionnaire for you guys to learn who I am and more about my military background. So the first one is, why did you join? So when I was first deciding to get in, my mom told me either one, you're going to continue your education or find a job. But I was in college, I was doing criminal justice, and I kind of just lost interest in it. So I decided I didn't want to go and work at like a McDonald's or work at, something simple that I didn't want to do. So I decided, hey, I want to join the Marines. So I went to go talk to a recruiter, and he told me I can't join. They had a really strict tattoo policy, and if I wanted to go to the Army, they had a really loose tattoo policy, and I can definitely get in and going within the next few months. So I was like, all right, cool. Went and talked to a Army recruiter, and they were totally fine. They said their tattoo policy was going to take effect maybe like a few months after I joined. So I had to quickly pass the ASVAB and select a job before the tattoo policy took in effect, or I couldn't join. So let's see, what branch did you join? I'm in the Army, and it says, are you active duty, National Guard, Reserve? So I'm active duty. I've been in for going on 6 years. Let's see, how long were you in? So I think these are Air Force questions, but I'm thinking it's asking how long was basic training. So basic training was about 4 months long, and they now bumped it to being longer. So now it's like 36 weeks, 32 weeks or something like that. Super long. When did you join? So I joined in 2014, and I feel like that was the end of major conflict. Now it's just advise and assist missions. So you're pretty much advising the foreign nation to fight their own wars, and we're not the ones getting in the gunfights and taking charge anymore. That's only the special operations community doing that, but even then their main job is to advise and assist now. How old were you when you joined? So I was 18 when I joined. I was 18 and a half. So I did about 4 months of college. And when I graduated high school, I was 17. So it was a huge wait for me, kind of. How old are you now? So I'm 23 now, but in a few days I turn 24. So still really young, still learning a lot, and still I have a lot of knowledge, and there's still a lot more to learn. How tall are you? So when I first joined the Army, I was 6'1". That's what I measured in at. They said I was 6'1", but now after carrying 80-pound rucksacks or 80 to 100 and something pound rucksacks over the last five and a half years, I'm now 5'10". So you do shrink a little bit the longer you are in. And then let's see, What rank are you now? So I'm currently a sergeant. I'm currently waiting to go to the board for staff sergeant. Let's see. Where am I from? So I'm from Stockton, California. Usually, if you're from California, you kind of know where it's at. But if not, if you're not from California, pretty much where's that? Don't know where it is. For UFC fans, it's the hometown of Nick and Nate Diaz. Where have you been stationed? So my first duty station was Fort Campbell. It was in Kentucky, or borderline of Kentucky and Tennessee. And I was there for 4.5 years, and we PCS'd here to Fort Carson, Colorado, and I've only been here for a 1.5 years, and now we are moving to Anchorage in Alaska. What is your job? So I'm in the infantry. For people in the military, you know what that is. For people who aren't in the military, we are the front line. We're the guys who are fighting the enemy head on and tactfully deciding the mission sets and either aiding the war or trying to provide aid to these foreign nations so they can fight their own wars, pretty much. What have you worked on? So I'm taking, that's probably like a question for like a mechanic, but I'm gonna go through my background. When I was a private, I went through air assault school, and just recently I went through airborne school. So now I'm air assault and airborne qualified. Air assault is pretty much rappelling and fast roping out of helicopters, and airborne is jumping out of airplanes and parachuting down to the ground, and yeah, pretty much that's what it is. Have you ever been deployed? Yes, I have been deployed. I've been to Afghanistan. It's definitely not the best place. It's definitely a culture shock going there. You get so used to this world and the States and having free access to everything that you want, the ability to drive anywhere you want to go, and always feeling safe. But being there, it's totally different. It's a different world over there. From like the culture to just everyday life, you have literally all the stuff that you wish you had totally just stripped from you. But you definitely learn a lot from about yourself, and you learn a lot about your guys. I'm a fire team leader. I'm in charge of 3 guys. I was at one point a acting squad leader, so that's taking care of 8 other guys. So you definitely learn a lot from your guys and how they act and how to keep them focused on the job set. How long is your contract? So I just signed for another 6 years, so I can get airborne. Because of airborne, I have to be on a jump status for 3 years. So that's why we are going to Alaska. so I can do my jump time there. And then after the 3 years, I can either decide to either stay there or come back. I'll probably end up on drill orders or recruiting, but I'm hoping to already have my B-Pin Staff Sergeant by then, so I can drop a SFAB packet, and that's Security Force Assistant Brigade. It's pretty much just the leading guys on the advise and assisting missions. And then how long are you going to stay in? So after this next 6 years, that'll put me at 12. So I figured if I'm already there, I'm already at 12, and retirement's at 20. So I might as well just finish it out, either try to ride it out and do the 3 years for SFAB, and then 3 years of drill, 3 years of recruiting, and then just ride it out like that, or keep working my way up and do more and stay on the line company until I retire. I'm kind of just going by just year by year. You kind of don't know. Your body acts totally different each year that you've been in. Some years are worse than others. Some years I can barely move, and I think that's it. But other years I feel great, and I know I can just keep going another year and another year after that. But I feel like once I get near the end of my contract, I kind of just feel like, oh, I need to stay in. I have priority. I have 2 kids and a wife to take care of. How can I take care of them if I decide to get out? Because the military does pay for a lot. It does pay for pays for your housing, pays for your utilities, and we don't get paid a lot, but you get paid enough to manage, I say. Yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much all the questions that were on here. I feel like there's definitely a lot more questions to be asked and to answer, but I feel that's probably for another time. And me and Shelby are getting ready to do our own couples questionnaire, so see how much we pay attention to each other, how much we learn from each other. So stay tuned for that. All right, bye guys.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids scream